Hello and welcome to a SafeX Systems webinar. My name's Abigail Hickman and today we are going to look at induction records. So we'll begin by sharing the desktop. So on the desktop there are two locations where you can access inductions. The first location I will show you is under Documents and Files in the left-hand menu and the subcategory Inductions. Under this category, you can build inductions which you can run with your workers, contractors or visitors. To run inductions, they are started under the People tab and Start Inductions subcategory. So we'll begin by looking at building them in the Documents and Files and Inductions section. Under the Copy from Template tab, you will find a range of templates which are provided by SafeX Systems. Those that are marked as core are inductions which are considered to be highly relevant to your business. And these categories or this tagging is based on the commodity that you would have set up under the business details field and at the bottom where it says content preferences. It's based on these commodities and the region that the core and relevant documents are identified. Now, the purpose of inductions is to enable a formal way for you to introduce your workers to your farm rules and expectations. So inductions form an integral part of training. If I'm going to use one of the SafeX Systems templates, I simply come over here to the Copy from Template tab, and I can then choose which induction I would like to view and read through to decide if it's relevant to my business. Inductions are created under a series of categories and statements. So in this particular induction, there's a category A, working with livestock and in stockyards, a category B, a category C, etc. And under these categories, there are multiple statements. These statements will need to be agreed or disagreed with when the inductee completes the induction. If I want to use one of these templates, I come down here on the left-hand side and tick the induction I wish to use, and then come up here and click Copy Template. Now, I can do this for bulk templates if I need, and click Save. Once I've saved that induction to be edited for my use, I can now come over under the Create or Edit tab, and that induction will now appear here for editing. If I wish to edit it, I click the Edit button, and it now opens in an editable field. From this field, I can attach documents, I can attach web links, policies, or images. I can delete a statement by using the Remove Item icon. I can move statements up or down in the induction using these arrows. And if I wish to add additional statements, I scroll to the bottom and click Add New Statement. Statements can also be rearranged. When I'm happy, I click Save, and the induction is ready to use. Now, for the purpose of this demonstration, I am going to edit an induction which I have shortened. So this particular induction for demonstration purposes contains only 3 statements. So I'll begin by linking up a policy. Now, the policy that I link must be a published policy in my list of policies. I select the policy from the drop-down menu and click Save. I now want to link up a website. Copy and paste the link in and give it a description. and then I click Save. The process of attaching an image is similar. Click Add Image, choose a file, and give it a name. And once again, I click Save. I can go on adding additional statements if I wish until I'm happy with my induction, and then click Save. Once that's completed, my induction is now ready to run for individuals. To run the induction, I now come up under the People tab, click Start Induction, come in here and choose the induction that I wish to run, who the inductor is, which is myself, and who I wish to induct. If I select the Begin button, I will then be able to sit with my inductee and work through the induction. Keep in mind, however, that this induction I cannot get signed off. The individual being inducted must be the person logged on for them to be able to sign the induction. So if you wish to work through the induction side by side on a desktop, you can, but you will then need to get the inductee to sign, to log in either on the desktop or the app and sign off the induction. Alternatively, you can click the Send button, which will send an alert to the inductee advising them that they have an induction to complete. Be aware this does not send an email. It sends an alert to the inductee. So we'll now change to the app and demonstrate this process from the app. So from the dashboard of the app, near the bottom, I have Inductions. So to access my induction, I click on Inductions, and under here, I have a number of options. As a business administrator or supervisor, I have the option to assign inductions. So I can click on Assign. I can then choose whether I want to assign it to contractors, visitors, or my people. In this particular demonstration, I'm going to choose somebody who is within our system. Select the induction that I've just created. I'll leave the inductor as myself, and I'll set the inductee as myself as well. I'll set the inductee as Simon. I now click Send, and it then tells me that the induction has been successfully created for Simon. So I now need to log in as Simon. So I'm now showing the app for Simon. I've now logged in as Simon. And once again, I'll access the inductions from the Induction tab, click on my inductions, and click Not Started. And the induction that's just been assigned to me is now here ready to complete. So the induction, as I said earlier, is set up under a series of categories. The particular induction that I created earlier had 2 categories. So the categories now show up and the inductee works through them category by category. So we start with category A, and the inductee is now provided with information as to what they need to do to proceed. So it explains that they need to agree or disagree with each of the statement. And if they disagree, they need to seek an understanding from the inductor. So it also explains to the inductee that if there are blue icons present, that indicates that there are attached documents which must be read before the inductee can accept the statement. So I now click Start, and I'm prompted with my first statement. Now you will note that I cannot agree or disagree with this statement at this point in time. The buttons are grayed out, and that is because I have not opened the attachment to read it. So I now read the statement. I know that it is my legal responsibility to take reasonable care for the health and safety of myself and others in my workplace. I then open the workplace health and safety policy, read through it, and click accept. I am then prompted to tick the checkbox to say I have read and understood the policy, and I can add any statements or comments or concerns in the comments section. I then click submit and finish, and I can now agree or disagree with the statement. I click agree and I move on to the next statement, which says I am aware that my work involves many physical activities and will use safe manual handling methods. Once again, I open the statement, open the link, and I can now view the video. Once I've viewed the video, I go back and I once again agree or disagree with the statement. That's now finished all statements under that category, and I'm now moved back to the category section to click on the next category to move forward with my induction. Once again, a statement is shown. I have been shown the emergency plan and will follow all instructions, and this time I have to open the attached image. Once I have viewed the image, once again, I can agree or disagree with the statement. Now, if I disagree with the statement, it'll move me back to the category screen and explain to me that because I have disagreed with the statement, I need to discuss this with my administrator before I can complete the induction. So back on the desktop, if I click on my existing inductions tab, I'm now given a list of inductions which are currently underway for my business. The most recent induction, which was the one we were just looking to, assigned to Simon, shows that he has had a disagreement with that particular induction. So this would prompt me to go and speak to Simon if Simon didn't actually come to me and explain that he'd had a disagreement in that particular induction. I can resume this induction, but because I'm logged in as myself, the inductor, I will not be able to sign it off. So if I was communicating with Simon about this induction, we could go in here and resume induction. This is the statement that he disagreed with, so it will prompt me to go to that statement, and it will say this statement was previously disagreed with. So we now have the option to open up the attached image, discuss the disagreement that he had, and we now have the option to click agree. So it then prompts that the inductee will need to log in using their username and password and sign the induction off. We cannot complete the induction while we logged in as somebody else. So we'll now move back to the app and sign off the induction. So I'm now back on the app. I click on inductions once again, my inductions, and to be signed. And the induction is now waiting here for me to sign it. So I can now sign the induction and click complete induction. So that induction has now been sent to the inductors list of inductions to be signed off. The inductor has also received an alert to say that the induction is there ready to be signed off. So if we now move back to the desktop version of the SafeX system software, we'll click on the existing inductions, and we can now see that the induction assigned to Simon is now ready for the inductor to sign. So the inductor can sign off, or you can upload a signature and click submit. So that induction is now listed as complete and is there to view if you ever need the record. If you do need to view what's happened on an induction, you can open it and read through and see what the respondent has responded. If you look at the status of all these inductions, they will tell you where they're at. So an induction that's listed as not started has been assigned, but no one has started to complete it. If it's in progress, it has been started but not finished. If it's in inductee to sign, it's obviously waiting for the inductee to sign it off. Inductor to sign means the inductee has finished it and signed it, but the inductor hasn't signed it, and it will then move to completed. Inductions are also saved against the user tile under people and manage people. So under inductions for Simon, we now have the induction that is just done and marked as complete. If you need to report on inductions that have been completed within your business, you can go under the Administration tab, click Reporting, and scroll down to the Induction section, where you can view completed inductions and incomplete inductions. Now, that demonstration has showed you how you complete inductions for people which are users in your system. These people have a user tile under Manage People. You can induct contractors and visitors from outside the app, so we'll go on and demonstrate how this process works. First of all, you must have a QR code on an induction for an individual to complete it from outside of the app. To generate a QR code on an induction, you need to come into the Documents and Files section and Inductions, choose the induction you wish to QR code, and click the Generate a QR code button. This QR code can now be printed and displayed for visitors or contractors to scan and complete an induction. You can purchase induction signs to be put up around your property to prompt visitors and contractors to complete the induction before entering your property. These can be purchased from the Safe Ag Systems website under For Farmers, Resources and Online Store. If you go to the online store, you will find specifically created signs for contractors and visitors which can be used. We've demonstrated how you can generate a QR code for a contractor or visitor so that they can undertake a induction from outside of the app. Before we move to the app, I'll just show you the different ways that you can have a contractor in the system. So under People, Manage People, there is a contractor directory where you can connect with contractors and have them as a user in your system. In this particular case, where they're connected through the contractor directory, they will be listed as a business, as you can see down here. These two businesses down here, Highview Contracting Services and 5 Awesome Contractors, are contracting businesses which have been connected through the contractor directory. This individual here, marked as a contractor, has been added as a user in the system. If you want to understand more about how that process works of connecting with contractors, please sign up for the Manage People webinar. It's important to recognise this because we demonstrate this from the app. I'll be demonstrating both processes. One, where a contractor from your system who is added through the contractor directory or as a contractor user is completing an induction, and the other where the contractor is completing it from outside the app and is not a user under Manage People. So we'll now move to the app. So from the app, once again, we can go into Inductions and we'll go into Assign Inductions. And in here, we have the option of inducting a contractor or a visitor. If we choose to induct contractors, once again, we'll be prompted to select the induction type, the inductor, which is myself, or you can choose an alternative user in the system, and the inductee. Now, in this case, the inductee field will only bring you up the individuals or businesses added in your system as contractors. So that was what I was showing earlier, where you're connected through a contractor to a contractor through the contractor portal. They will be listed as a business here, and you can create inductions and allocate to them or assign to them for them to complete. So once again, the system works similarly. If you click Begin, you can work through the induction with them. However, they will need to log in under their own login to be able to sign it off. If you click Send, it will assign the login for them to do from their login. If we now come back and just touch briefly on visitors before we move on to the other way of inducting contractors, the process is somewhat similar in that we click in the visitor induction. Once again, we select the type, the inductor, but in this case, the name field is a free field. When doing this type of induction, you need to do it with them. So the only option here is to begin and to take them through it. So this process is the same as when we did it earlier, where you work through and have to open the documentation, read it, and then agree. Where it differs is the sign-off process. So for visitors, you have the option of completing the induction with them and then getting multiple visitors to sign off on the same induction. So this is perfect if you're doing a group induction to a group of visitors. So the process here is to complete the name, email, and get the visitor to sign. Click Add Signature, and the individual is now added down here as an inductee. You can go on and keep completing this field and clicking Add Signature until all the individual visitors that you need to induct have signed, and when you are finished, you complete induction. Once again, that induction will be assigned back to the inductor to sign off before it goes into your completed inductions. So I'll now log off of the app and demonstrate the process for completing an induction from outside of the SafeEg system software. Now, you must download the app to be able to complete an induction. So contractors and visitors doing the induction in this way will need to download the app, but they will not need to be added as a user to your system. Instead of clicking the login icon, we will now click the scan QR code button. We will scan the QR code. Complete the name of the inductor and put in the name of the inductee. They will now click begin and once again work through the induction in exactly the same way as previously. The signature process is the same as it was for the visitors, which I demonstrated earlier, where you can complete the names, put in the email, add a signature, and click Add Signature. So we now have the inductees listed below, and if there are multiple individuals attending from that contracting business, they don't all need to work through the induction separately. They can go through as a group and then each sign at the end. And then when they have all signed, click Complete Induction. We hope you found this webinar useful. If you would like to attend some further webinars, please go onto our website, click on the For Farmers tab, and go to the Resources and Online Store section. Under this section, you can book in for additional webinars if you would like. If you would like to get in touch with any questions or need for assistance, please give us a call on 08 84900939, or alternatively send us an email at help@safeagsystems.com. We hope you have found this information useful and look forward to speaking again soon.